welcome back to the show. IFOS09E show, and here we are at another segment of a talk about student life of Phillip An, our guest. So let's talk about your student life, and I know that you graduated from Harvard, which is a very big university. So first of all, what do you study at Harvard?
So I actually studied, for undergraduate, I actually went to a school called Caltech, which is a small kind of engineering-related school, right?
Like your parents wanted you to study
there.
Yeah,
yeah, all the engineering stuff. And actually, for undergrad, I studied I studied computer science, right? So that's like coding and software engineering and those kind of things, right? Yeah, and I think it was primarily driven because I was very interested in kind of computer programming and those kind of things to start with. Yeah. Oh,
so does your major have anything to do with the job and the career you're pursuing right now?
I think yes and no, because when you look at entrepreneurship, a lot of people who study coding or engineering become entrepreneurs because you can build apps or software or those kind of things. So I would definitely say that it helped, but in the sense that, is it useful on my day-to-day? Maybe not. Yeah.
That's also about the flexibility as well, because I study international relations and I do the television and media communications.
Yes.
So it's all about the skills also that we learn outside the school, as well as that we are all the lifelong learners. So we have to learn a lot of things on a daily basis as well.
Definitely. Yeah.
So how was your student life?
Yeah. I think I was a pretty okay student.
Okay student, like good student.
Yeah, I mean, so academically, in high school and when I was young, I was a very diligent student, right? I would always study a lot and good test scores and those kind of things. But I think as I got older and I had a little bit more experience and working experience, I think what I realized is that the most important part about your education when you go to university isn't necessarily the classes or those kind of things that you learn, right? A lot of it is actually the people that you meet, because when you go to university or college or anywhere, right? Like you're surrounded by so many very young and brilliant and talented people, and I think a lot of my friends are doing really incredible things, and that's actually what inspires me even today.
Wow.
Because when I look at what they're doing, I'm like, wow, like I also have to keep up, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's also a lot of the opportunities that you get as a student. So towards the end of my kind of undergraduate career, I traveled a lot, right? I went to countries like Spain or Argentina or Peru or Germany, just visiting conferences or doing really fun projects basically with my classmates. And what I realized is that, university gives you a really great time to explore, right? Not just in your major, right? But explore about yourself and what you're actually passionate about or interested in. And I think for me, the most valuable part was taking full advantage of these opportunities and doing stuff like internships, right? Working in companies and getting to see what is a job like, right? And, instead of just wanting to go into something, right? What is the job actually like, and am I actually passionate about it, right?
I totally agree. I think that passion is something that can lead us to somewhere that we can never expect. Do you have any advice for us how to overcome those shyness and just be confidently and be bold at grabbing the opportunities?
Yeah, definitely. I think confidence is something that, a lot of people have to build internally, right? You don't start out confident. It's actually almost like a skill that you have to practice, right? There's a really famous TED Talk online, and it's by this Harvard professor called Amy Cuddy. And basically, it's, it documents her journey basically as a graduate student, and initially she was very, very shy. And basically, she didn't really have this transformation of confidence until she just pretended like she was confident, right? That she had the ability, she had the skills, right?
Fake it until you make it.
Fake it until you make it, right?
Yeah.
And it was only until, she did that, then other people recognized, oh, wow, she must be confident, right?
Yes.
Because internally, everyone else around you, right, is probably also very shy. They're very insecure. They're thinking about their own things, right? So it's up to you to actually kind of set that example for people, right? And then people will kind of view you as someone who is confident and someone who is a leader. Yeah.
I think I totally agree. One of my key to get over the shyness to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That to get used to that feeling will help you to step out of your comfort zone and to do something that you're scared and just do it whatever happens.
Definitely, yeah.
That's right. And so how about the opportunities? I think how the Vietnamese people can reach the opportunities internationally.
Yeah, I think I guess like even when I talk to a lot of investors, right? I definitely think that Vietnam should not be as hidden as it. Vietnam deserves to be recognized on a global scale because in the 2 or 3 years since we came here, right? We've recruited a lot of really brilliant young people who are quite ambitious as well. And it's not to say that people here aren't as hardworking or anything.
Yes.
Actually, I would say that they're even more hardworking than a lot of the peers that I know in the U.S. Right? I think in the beginning it's just developing your own kind of unique brand and persona, right? If you're trying to maybe work for an international company, they might not know some of the universities or companies that you work for, right?
Yes.
But if you're able to kind of demonstrate that, hey, I'm able to achieve very impressive results, right, and using a very common language, right, and build up your CV and build up your kind of persona gradually, right, then you'll start to have some of these opportunities, right? I also encourage people to kind of, again, step outside of their comfort zone, right? Maybe all your peers are doing one thing, right? We're oriented towards one path, right?
Yes.
But if you really think about it from an international stage, maybe that's not the best path for you, right? So it's identifying what are those very unique opportunities that resonate with, yourself, right? If your dream is to work at an international company, it may not be following the same path as everyone else, right?
Yes.
It may be doing your own thing or whatever it is, right? And then, kind of really committing to that, building your own kind of unique brand image and going from there. Yeah.
And be you.
And be you. And be
you.
you. Yeah, I think there's a really famous quote that I really like, which is that you can never be the best copycat in the world,
That's right.
But you can be the best at who you are, right? Because no one else can copy you, right? You're your authentic self. So I really love that quote.
And it's just like boost the confidence within ourselves.
Exactly.
Confidence is not like, oh, I'm not good as you, I'm inferior, but confidence is something, when you walk into the room, and you know that you don't have to compare yourself to any other. Because
Definitely.
you're the only one, you're unique.
Exactly.
Wow. That's very inspiring. So that's a very interesting talk about your student life. I get to know more about your mindset and like how your student life went.